My name is Daniel, and I used to work at a small meat shop on the outskirts of town. It was a quaint little place with a flickering neon sign that read Smith's Meats. From the moment I stepped inside, an unsettling atmosphere seemed to permeate the air, filling the room with an eerie ambiance that sent shivers down my spine. I was desperate for a job at the time, so I shrugged off my unease and got to work. Mr. Smith, the owner, was a tall, gaunt man with a perpetual scowl etched onto his face. He rarely spoke, and when he did, his voice carried a menacing undertone that made my skin crawl. The shop itself was dimly lit, with rusty hooks hanging from the ceiling in a cold storage room at the back. The walls were lined with various cuts of meat, but there was something unsettling about their appearance. They seemed almost too fresh, too vibrant, as if they were plucked from creatures that had only just been slaughtered. As the days went by, I couldn't shake the feeling that something sinister was lurking beneath the surface of this seemingly ordinary meat shop. Late one evening, curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to investigate the mysterious cold storage room. I cautiously opened the door, and a gust of frigid air washed over me. My breath hung in the air as I stepped inside, the dim light bulb swinging overhead, casting eerie shadows on the walls. The room was filled with a pungent odor that was a sickening mix of raw meat and something far more foul. Shelves lined the room, stacked high with packages of meat, each neatly labeled with names I didn't recognize. But what caught my attention was a small, locked chest sitting atop a metal table in the center of the room. Something about it called to me, whispering forbidden secrets. Driven by an inexplicable compulsion, I searched for the key. After rummaging through drawers, I finally found it tucked away in Mr. Smith's office. Trembling with anticipation, I returned to the cold storage room and unlocked the chest. Inside, I discovered a collection of tattered journals, their pages yellowed with age. They were filled with meticulous records of Mr. Smith's activities, detailing his sinister practices. It turned out that Smith's Meats wasn't just a regular meat shop. It was a front for something far more horrifying. According to the journals, Mr. Smith had made a deal with a mysterious entity, a malevolent force that demanded sacrifices to maintain his wealth and success. The names on the meat packages belonged to those unfortunate souls who had unknowingly become a part of his diabolical pact. I felt a wave of nausea wash over me as I read about the grisly rituals that took place in the cold storage room. Mr. Smith would lure unsuspecting victims to his shop, only to trap and butcher them, their flesh becoming part of his sinister trade. The meat he sold to the customers was tainted, infused with the dark energy of those sacrificed to sustain his power. Overwhelmed by the horrifying truth, I knew I had to expose Mr. Smith's malevolence to the world. Armed with the damning evidence, I confronted him the following day, prepared to bring his reign of terror to an end. But as I entered the shop, I was greeted by an empty, desolate space. The shelves were bare, and the cold storage room had been wiped clean. Mr. Smith had vanished, leaving no trace behind. It was as if he had evaporated into thin air, taking his dark secrets with him. To this day, the memory of that meat shop haunts me. I often wonder if Mr. Smith's wicked legacy lives on in some other unsuspecting town, where the boundaries between the ordinary and the macabre blur into a nightmarish reality. And whenever I pass by a seemingly innocent butcher's shop, a shiver runs down my spine, reminding me of the chilling secrets that can lurk behind closed doors.